All right. So we are on day 16. Holy moly. Well done if you've been making it to this all the way up to this point, joining every day. That's phenomenal. This is a long time to be practicing. And if this is your first day, also welcome. You could go back to all of the recordings. We are on week 3 right now in our expansion practices. Yesterday, we focused on choiceless awareness, aka open monitoring, aka open presence. There's a lot of ways to describe that practice, where we trained ourselves to start to rest in awareness itself, rather than just hanging out in wherever the attention wants to go. So directing the attention to the breath. It's sort of like a zooming out and just being, but resting in that space of being. We got to play with that a little bit yesterday, and today we're going to work more with taking that relationship to thoughts. Thoughts really have the power to, what's the word? I want to say shrivel up our sense of self. I mean, they create the small sense of self. They shrivel up our larger sense of self. I'm a big fan of thoughts. They help us do a lot in the world. But when we take them too seriously, identify with them too strongly, we become the narrative that is moving through our mind. And that is a very small, limited way to live. So we're going to practice just challenging that notion of that being our identity and what it's like to step out of some of those thoughts. So if you haven't already done so, you can find a comfortable posture. This could be sitting, standing, lying down. And if you'd like to do so, you can close your eyes. We'll start our meditation by tuning into the sound of the bells. I'll ring them a handful of times. And each time I do, you can use the bells as a focus practice, bringing full awareness and focus to the sound until it dissolves into silence, using the bell to help stabilize the attention in the present. And see if you can pay attention to it as if it were the most important thing in the world right now. Let's take a deep breath together, in through the nose, slowly out through the mouth. Doing a quick scan of your body, noticing if there's any areas that are holding tension. Giving those the space to soften, particularly the jaw. The shoulders, belly and the hands. Maybe give a little extra emphasis this morning to relaxing the belly. There's a lot of conditioning in that region of the body. Tightening, sucking in, self-consciousness. Often it can constrict the breath and create extra stress and tension. But if you think of a baby breathing, this whole region of the body is free, connected, supple. The belly, the chest, as the breath comes in, there's full permission and ease for this part of the body to do and breathe in the way it knows how. And if the belly sticks out a bit, it's okay. So see if you could just sense any lingering tension that might be there. And give it a little extra kindness and permission to soften today. Again, the breath doesn't need to be deep, and you don't need to breathe in any particular kind of pattern for what we're doing. You just let the breath be as it normally would be. We're bringing a little bit more awareness to it in this moment. So now that we've collected our attention a bit more in the moment, let's turn that attention, that awareness, to our thoughts. And it can sometimes be a big statement to the mind to turn your attention to your thoughts. Because very often we're trying to turn away from our thoughts, especially if they're negative or stressful. And there can be a fear of being with the mind. And so the statement in turning toward the thoughts is, I can be with this. I'm willing to look at this. Who I am is bigger than the thoughts moving through my mind. And you're starting by simply observing mental activity. In the same way that you might be listening to the radio or eavesdropping on a conversation in a coffee shop. You're tuning in to your own mind. going to do some inquiry with our thoughts, keeping it very simple with one question, which is, who is thinking these thoughts? Who is thinking these thoughts? So you might drop that question in to your mind and then just watch the thoughts arise. I'm hungry, I need to go to the bathroom. What does Cory mean with this question? I'm confused, I don't know what to do. And you're just watching. Oh, who is thinking these thoughts? And just see what arises. Who is thinking these thoughts? And if at any point you notice yourself caught in a thought, oftentimes it's a strong kind of voice or narrative that might say something like, I'm not good at this. I don't get how to do this. And so we start taking that thought as who we are, our truth, the guiding voice in this moment. And you can even step back from that and go, who is thinking that thought? Watch how they seemingly arise out of nowhere. And then once they do, we quickly identify with them and we think, I'm thinking that thought. Or that's my thought. Or it feels like we generated it. Maybe. But use this space to play and challenge. Who is really thinking these thoughts? So maybe just take a moment to smile at these thoughts as they arise. Perhaps you've gotten some insight into them, or perhaps you're more confused where they come from and who's doing the thinking. And I think that quite accurately represents the mystery of life. And so sometimes all we can do is just smile at it. Take a few moments to set an intention for today. Anything that feels inspiring to you. When you're ready, you can start to reorient yourself. Invite the eyes to open again. Okay, everyone. I apologize to the Instagram folks. It seems there was a slight pause. I think it was low battery. So if you want to go back to that part, you could find it obviously on Facebook, and it'll be on YouTube a little bit later. You know, most of this practice was just an inquiry, and that inquiry is who is thinking these thoughts, which is something you could do in a meditation, and you could also do many times throughout the day. It's, as we said in the beginning, a lot of what creates a smallness and a sense of tension is just being lost in those thoughts and taking them as fact and truth, the only truth. And I still remember that I think the most powerful insight I had early on in my meditation practice was just sitting on my dorm room bed, watching my mind think. And it's just like things were arising and passing, and I really didn't have much control over it at all. It's like, wow, where is all of this coming from? And it created some space. And that's the idea. You're not going, most likely not going to come to some answer. I've spent many thousands of hours now, at least trying to explore this for myself. I don't have an answer. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know who is thinking, but what it does do is it challenges the sense of like, oh, my thoughts, me, because it's not like you sat down and asked all of these thoughts to arise. They just sort of come up. And so that ability to see that happening and almost be short-circuited with like, oh, where is this actually coming from? And it's as if like I am listening to just someone else's conversation, create some ease around it without all of that identification. So try to bring this in throughout your day today, alongside whatever intention you set for yourself. That's it for now. So this is day 16. We have a handful of more days. Remember, if you want to be learning more alongside this, there is the podcast Practicing Cumin, which is a free daily podcast with it's more teaching based, and it's about 10 minutes with a new thought idea that you could do each day. And if you do want to go deeper into practice, we do have the retreat June 5th through 7th. And do have some spots left in that. So a lot of people that have been watching this are signing up for the retreat. So I'd love to have you there. It's going to be, I'm excited for the experience. You can learn all about that at the link in the Instagram bio, or just go to corymuscara.com/retreat. And again, if finances are an issue, I know circumstances can be tough right now. Just send an email. And you'll see the details on the webpage, and we have some partial scholarships still available, and would love to help make it happen for you. So yeah, great to see you there. Would be great to see you there, and otherwise I'll see you tomorrow for day 17. Thank you for your practice. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.